Erin Sykes is with us, founder, Sykes Style Retail Consultancy. Steve Brooks, CEO, founder, the Pop-Up Retail Expert. I'll start with you, Erin. Thank you for being here. I look forward to what you both have to say. Erin, you sent that list of the names that have all gone into bankruptcy in 2020. I was not surprised. It's sad, but I was not surprised to see a very long list. That being said, what were your takeaways from today's retail sales numbers, Erin? It looked a little better when you went under the headline number, right?
Yeah, so today we had some good news. I just don't expect that good news to stick around. Year over year, we're up 11% this July. Apparel is down 20%. There's not going to be a back to school shopping season, so I don't expect August or September to be very strong, especially with apparel. Electronics are not up. They were actually down just a bit. So that is one area we actually expected to be up because of the whole work from home mentality. Same thing with home goods and furniture. That actually ticked down a little bit as well. And with the continued issues with people actually receiving their unemployment, unemployment numbers continuing to fluctuate, Congress being out for the summer, and so they can't have that further discussion on stimulus, I really don't see the consumer in a great place long term, and I expect continued volatility throughout the rest of 2021.
What's interesting, Steve, is when I was talking with the gentleman of X Out, a certain fund, where they go through the 500 names in the S&P 500, and they don't really look for the winners. What they do with that particular fund is they go through each stock and company, and they X out the ones that seem to be struggling. And what was struggling, even before COVID, was retail. Steve, what is your outlook here based on what you're learning day to day? I mean, this is your wheelhouse. Tell me.
We've got 13,200 store closures already this year from major brands like, Neiman Marcus and J. Crew and J.C. Penney and so on. So it's only going to get worse. I think what COVID has done is just accelerated the demise of some of these retailers that have really struggled, and that's brought forward. But what's worrying me is what happens in the second wave that we're experiencing right now, and the impact that that's going to have on retail, because that's going to be devastating, I'm sure, for a number of other brands.
But Steve, what do you think about names like Walmart and Target? We're going to be getting some earnings reports from these companies next week. Are those faring better, Steve? Where do you see some strength and where do you see the weakness?
Sure. Target has been doing very well. They got their act together with online trading and online sales and fulfillment. Walmart is looking at maybe closing some stores anyway, just based on profitability and so on. But I think retailers have really got to take a strong look at their e-commerce. And your last guest was just saying about how those figures are going to be out next week. It'll be interesting to see how people are looking to take online orders and actually fulfill them locally in order to keep stores open and keep employment of staff.
Yeah, well, Erin, that's exactly that, right? We'll get that e-commerce report next week that Simeon Hyman was telling us about. But you sent this whole list: Lord & Taylor, Lucky, GNC, JCPenney, Aldo, Neiman Marcus, True Religion. Some of these stores I love, Pier 1, bankrupt. So what are you expecting? Maybe it's the e-commerce that's going to save retail. Is that what's going to happen, Erin? Because that's what we've seen so far.
I mean, I think that, of course, we all have to hang our hat on e-commerce. I think that we're going to see a strong consolidation in general. Someone that is really making great moves right now, above and beyond the ones that we normally talk about, the Amazon, Walmart, Targets of the world, is Simon Property Group. They're mall owners, and you wouldn't expect them to be doing so well, but they are able to purchase these retailers that have gone bankrupt, and they're going to potentially go into partnership with Amazon, sublease JCPenney and Sears locations for Amazon's new distribution centers. Simon has a venture group where they were able to purchase Lucky and Brooks Brothers for basically nothing. So you're going to see a lot of consolidation. And those bigger names are also a little bit more easily able to put the money into their e-commerce. That said, they're also big ships, and it takes longer for them to do it.
Yeah, we covered that story. I think it's an exciting, you have to know what's needed. And what's needed is that Amazon needs space for its stuff, right? And so JCPenney and Sears are out. So Amazon wants to use that, as a fulfillment center. The bad part about that is the other stores won't get the foot traffic. It's not like you're going to shop in the Amazon fulfillment center, Erin. But where you do see strength, when you often talk to me, you often mention, Erin, Lululemon and Nike. Are those still hot brands? Are those still names that will make it through and maybe good investments for the long term?
I think so. And we can even look to the New York Times Sunday magazine this week, and it had a picture of sweatpants. I mean, honestly, as a culture, we've gotten a little bit lazy in how we dress, so that athleisure movement is going to continue. It's hard to go backtrack and really get dressed up to go to work when you're working on a computer at home. So I think until the country actually reopens, those athletic and athleisure names are going to continue to be strong.
Steve, I have about 15 seconds. Final thoughts, sir.
Retail's under pressure. It's going to be under pressure for the rest of the year and probably into next year. We're going to see more brands closing, but e-commerce is probably going to save the day for a lot of people.
And Christmas, Hanukkah, holidays. We got to get something, right? I don't know what everybody's going to do. That might be the one little catalyst. Erin Sykes, founder, Sykes Style Retail Consultancy. Steve Brooks, CEO, founder, the Pop-Up Retail Expert. Thank you both.